So again, the last video you should have seen basically the proof for the quadratic formula. So we go through basically all the steps of completing the square. The reason the quadratic formula works is because that's what somebody's done. They've actually gone through all the steps of completing the square for any polynomial because they used a, b, and c instead of the actual numbers itself, and it turns out to give us this. So the quadratic formula is just instead of doing all the math to get you there, it's what you have left. A lot of people like the quadratic formula. I definitely like it and use it, but if I can complete the square and it's easy for me, a lot of times I'll do that instead of going through the process of completing this or using the quadratic formula. So you need to know this. You probably need to memorize it. You get x equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And of course, that's all the letters are from the nice little general form there, a squared, or a x squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So make sure when you're using the quadratic formula you have it set equal to 0 first, and then figure out what a, b, and c are. Now, even though the quadratic formula is great, there are some things that you need to know. So the quadratic formula, it works all the time. So it works all the time, just like completing the square will work all the time. I don't always do completing the square every single time, but the quadratic formula works when I don't want to complete the square. What we need to do is get in general form first. Basically means when you set it equal to 0, and I use it when I can't use the other three. So if I can't solve for x, obviously I can't do that. If it's not factorable, then I'm going to not factor. If I can't take half of b evenly, then I'm probably not going to use completing the square. So quadratic formula is my next result. And steps, there are some things we need to do. First thing is we need to set equal to 0 in general form, find a, b, and c, and plug into the formula. And then here, the last three are the important ones, because those are the things that are going to mess you a little bit. First thing we're going to do is we're going to simplify the radicand. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, how it has a different name when you're using the quadratic formula. It's called the discriminant. Then we're going to simplify the radical, and then we're going to simplify the fraction. So again, there's a lot of places you can make mistakes, so just be very careful.